Today we have the Apple TV 4K. Let's see if you gotta have it. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to start with the unboxing. Just to show you, this is the 4K edition, 32 GB. And I will admit I have opened this already, so things will be missing, but I'll cover what was already included. So we have the remote. I actually like it. So this is the touchpad, and at the bottom is how you charge it with the lightning port. Compared to the previous model, the menu button is now it's now white all around the outside to show you. That's the back button. You have the actual Apple TV box itself. So around all the edges, it's pretty much piano black, and it's raised up a little bit for the fans, and then the USB-C port right here is gone from the previous generation. You have your power adapter, HDMI, and Ethernet. And underneath this is where the power adapter is. This is just some paperwork and your Apple stickers that we all know and love, and the USB and lightning adapter, which you can plug in here to charge. So far I've had this for a couple weeks now, haven't had to charge. I believe the battery has been full, and it's nice that it uses a lightning cable if you have other Apple products like an iPhone or an iPad, so it's pretty easy to charge. But now we're going to transition to my TV, and I'll show you what it looks like with the interface. All right, so now we are at the home screen of the Apple TV 4K, and I will just go straight into the settings. Oops, touchpad is kind of annoying to use. But starting off with general. So right now my TV is Dolby Vision. It's Dolby Vision capable as well as HDR10, and I have it plugged in through Ethernet. One of my favorite features about the Apple TV 4K, and I think probably just Apple TV in general, is excuse me, the screensavers. The screensavers look amazing, and I have it set to download daily, so I probably just have too many screensavers. Like, this is a new one, I haven't seen this one before. My favorite one would probably be Hong Kong. Let's see if I can get to this one. Yeah, this is probably my favorite one, waking up to in the morning. This is also another one of my favorite ones in the UAE. But moving away from screensavers, that's a new one to me. This is also new. This is Los Angeles. So I could just sit here and look at the screensavers all day. But moving on, going back to the settings, or talking about the specs first, it has a A10X Fusion chip. It also has capability of Wi-Fi 802.11 with MIMO. So the Apple TV itself, I have the remote right here. The remote is Bluetooth 4.0, but the box itself is Bluetooth 5.0, and the HDMI port is 2.0. So the format, if you have just HDR, you can set it to 4K HDR, and if you don't have HDR or Dolby Vision but a 4K TV, which would be kind of strange to me, you can have that setting. And you can also downscale to whatever version you have. I also recommend having the match dynamic range and frame rate on. That's just me. I don't like the soap opera effect of the frame rate, and if a content is HDR, it'll actually switch that to HDR. You can also check your HDMI settings if you want to see if your cable is capable of having the throughput to actually provide you Dolby Vision or HDR. here. AirPlay is amazing. So just real quick, I'm going to AirPlay my Mac to type in the code. And then wirelessly, I can use this as a display, which is amazing to say the least. So I don't need a wire or anything to be able to share my screen. So that's a nice benefit. So I'm just gonna go and disconnect and resume. So under remotes and devices, oh, I can actually see the battery level now. So the home button is the Apple TV button, which I'm assuming is the top right one. I apologize for the dark lighting right now. I have the lights off. Bluetooth, I believe I had an AirPods review before this, so yes, I can connect my AirPods directly. And if you have a PlayStation 4 controller or a controller with Bluetooth capability, you can link that to it. I completely skipped over audio. Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, I did. So I have a sound bar right here. It's a Vizio sound bar with Dolby Atmos. It's great. So the output right now is going to be in Atmos. Networking, like I said, I have it through Ethernet, but if I take out the Ethernet port, it would automatically set itself to Wi-Fi. And system settings is just like legal information about and software updates. I think I might have missed a few things here. So under users and accounts, you can actually have different users. So if you hold down these two buttons, the two top buttons, it actually brings up the sidebar, and this is how you actually make the device sleep. So if you want to play music through Apple Music, you can. If you want to AirPlay a device, you can. And then you can switch profiles if you wanted to. So let's just head into Disney Plus, because out of all the Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos content, I find that Disney Plus has the most in terms of content. So I'm just gonna go, so Avengers Endgame, for example. So as you can see, it is Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos capable. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit play. And I'm not actually gonna play it because I don't know if I'm gonna get copyright striked.
Okay, hold on, don't shoot.
But it looks amazing, to say the least. And I can't show you guys that it's Atmos because it's gonna be using my phone, but it is Atmos, trust me. And so now it's like changing the content back to Vision. So all in all, I highly, if you have another Apple product like a Mac or an iPhone, it's really good to have in terms of just being within the Apple ecosystem. Netflix has a really loud thump, but not sure what other content on Netflix is Dolby. Oh, I know one. So using Siri is actually really nice. So for example, Altered Carbon Netflix. So when I pull down from the top, so I'll show you what I'm doing with the remote. So I'm just gonna pause it real quick and swipe down. And you can see at the top it says Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. And Siri is absolutely amazing because the way she activates smart devices is much faster than Alexa in my opinion. So turn living room to 100%. And it's just instant. Turn living room back to 25%. Oh, come on. Turn living room to 25%. I think the back two kind of messed with her, but you also get a free year subscription of Apple TV Plus. I actually don't have Apple TV Plus yet, but I think the content here is, from what I've heard, it's not enough yet. But since you do get it free for a year, it's probably worth just signing up for. But I'll probably sign up in about maybe 6 months to maybe I'll start it next year. So in 2021, I'll have all the content fleshed out. But that's pretty much a wrap up of the interface. All right, so getting into the likes of the Apple TV, I have the notes on my phone. It's too bright for you guys to see, but so I originally had the 3rd generation Fire TV, and going from that device to the Apple TV 4K, it's night and day in terms of performance. Everything feels really snappy, especially when I use Siri to navigate through the interface. I also like how you get a free year of Apple TV with your purchase, but like I said previously, I'm probably not going to purchase or start the trial now. I'll probably start it 6 months down the line when they get more content on there. I like Siri on the Apple TV. I think it's a little bit better than Alexa in the Fire Cube. Should probably mute her. As you can see right now, one of my favorites is the screensavers that you get. I think it looks way better in person. So I'll leave it on this one. Yeah. But the remote, what I like about the remote is the rechargeable battery with the lightning port. If you already have Apple products, then it's just more convenient than always having to find a battery, like a AAA battery. AirPlay 2 is also great with syncing of Macs, iPads, iPhones. Dolby Vision and HDR content also look really good, as well as Dolby Atmos. I don't know if this has the widest selection of Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision content on out of all the media streaming devices. I personally haven't owned a Roku Ultra. I believe that's Roku's high-end media streaming device. But in terms of compared to the Fire Cube that I recently had, this one has Dolby Atmos content on Disney Plus, which the Fire Cube does not. But I don't know if that'll be fixed later in a software update. You guys can let me know on that. The HomeKit built into the Apple TV is great. So if you don't want to shell out, I think $2.99 for the HomePod, for the home automation, you can just get the Apple TV instead. And now I'll move on to the dislikes. So as much as I enjoy watching Netflix and Prime Video and whatever's on Disney Plus nowadays, other than like their movies, I watch a lot of YouTube. And with the Apple TV, you don't get 4K or even 1440p content on YouTube. It just caps out at 1080p or HD. And the reason of that is because YouTube / Google, whatever you want to call them, they use VP9 as their, I want to say it's their encoder. And Apple uses HEVC. I might have gotten that wrong. I think it's basically another type of encoding format, and they're not compatible. And yeah, so that kind of sucks. So I just use the YouTube app built into my TV, which is Roku, and I just watch. If I want to watch something really good on YouTube, then I will use the YouTube TV app. But that's also kind of a downside. Oh, I have it in my notes. It's HEVC. There's no on or off button, but I found out that if you just hold these two buttons, like I said, these two buttons, and then I will go to sleep, So I have the CEC built into my TV, or my TV has CEC, so I can control the TV through HDMI devices. So whenever my Apple TV goes to sleep, it automatically turns off the TV. So that's how I turn off my TV. Like I said, there's no real formal back button, but I found out that it's now just the menu button outlined in white. And would I use daily? Obviously, yes. I had the Fire TV before. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay. It's actually really good if you watch a lot of Prime content, but there's Prime in here as well. And just because I'm in the Apple ecosystem, it's really great in terms of functionality, and it really does make my life, I want to say, easier in terms of just not only watching content, but if I want to just throw my Mac on the screen, or if anyone's connected to my Wi-Fi, if they want to share something, it's really a lot easier for them, but they have to have an iPhone or something of that nature. So my question is, or the question everybody wants to know is if you gotta have it or not. And I say if you have other Apple products, I recommend looking at this device. Functionality wise, the Apple TV does what the Roku Ultra, the Fire TV 4K products do. And from my knowledge, I could be wrong, the Apple TV has the most Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos content. And what really sets this product apart is being in the Apple ecosystem. Like I said previously, so if you have another Apple product, it's really hard to use this device with your other Apple products and then go to another media streaming device and it doesn't have that that cohesion with all of your other devices. And the price is steep. I think I took the price out of my notes. This, I think it was like $149 for the 32 GB model. It is steep. It is an Apple product. If you watch a lot of YouTube and the YouTube that you watch is in really high quality, like above 1080p, I would definitely steer clear from this device. I wouldn't even consider it. I would definitely just get a Fire Cube or one of the new Fire Sticks, or the Roku Ultra. And yeah, basically depends. Apple products, yes. If you have other Apple products, yes. If you don't, then you have to dig a little bit deeper to see if you actually want something like this. But that's it for the video. If you liked the review, leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm going to be doing more videos. And that's it for this episode. See ya.